The power of small choices is one of the most underestimated forces in our lives. These choices are the seemingly insignificant actions and decisions we make daily, the ones that don't scream for attention or promise immediate rewards, but quietly and consistently steer the direction of our lives. When we think about change, we often imagine bold moves, sweeping resolutions, and life-altering decisions. But real change, the kind that lasts, starts with the little things we choose to do each day. Imagine each choice as a tiny seed planted in the garden of our lives. At first glance, these seeds may look unremarkable. Choosing to read a few pages of a book instead of scrolling on social media, taking 5 minutes to meditate in the morning, deciding to walk instead of drive, they're so small that they almost seem inconsequential. But just like seeds, these choices contain within them the potential to grow, to evolve, to compound into something much larger over time. We're building a practice, a commitment, and even a legacy in the small, everyday decisions that often go unnoticed. What's powerful about small choices is their accessibility. No matter where we are in life, we have the opportunity to choose better, even in a very small way. We don't have to wait for the perfect moment or for everything to line up. We don't have to make drastic changes overnight. The doorway to change is open every day. And it comes down to those few moments when we decide one thing over another. With each choice, we're either nurturing growth or feeding old habits. Small choices might feel easy to skip or dismiss because their effects aren't immediately visible. It's easy to think, I'll do it tomorrow, or one day won't make a difference. But if we look closely, each of these small moments is a pivot point, steering us either toward or away from our goals, our health, our growth. Every time we choose to act in line with the person we want to become, we're carving a pathway to that version of ourselves. It's these small actions repeated consistently that form habits, and eventually habits become character. Another unique strength of small choices is that they help us create momentum without overwhelming us. Tackling big changes all at once can feel daunting. But small, consistent actions make change feel doable. They allow us to see progress without getting discouraged by the scope of our goals. Small steps don't ask for a lot of energy or time, and because of that, they're sustainable. Over time, they create a ripple effect that builds into something substantial, making lasting change feel organic rather than forced. Each small choice has an impact, and the beauty of it is that over time, the changes become so ingrained we hardly notice them. But looking back, we start to see how far we've come. The small choices, the seemingly ordinary decisions, are quietly writing our story. And each time we make a choice that aligns with the life we want, we're affirming that vision for ourselves. The power of small choices lies not in their immediate outcomes, but in the steady accumulation of actions that, over time, shape us into the person we want to be. Creating accountability is a cornerstone of successful habit building. It's one of the most effective ways to keep ourselves on track, especially during the moments when motivation wanes or when life inevitably gets in the way. Accountability is like a safety net that catches us when we're tempted to fall back into old patterns, and it serves as a reminder of the commitment we've made to ourselves. But accountability is more than just having someone to check in with. It's about building a structure that supports consistency, trust, and self-respect. When we create accountability, we add a layer of visibility to our goals. Without accountability, our commitments can easily slip under the radar, known only to us, where they're vulnerable to excuses and rationalizations. But when we make our intentions known to others, it becomes harder to let ourselves off the hook. There's a psychological shift that happens when we know someone else is aware of our goals. It's no longer just about us, it's about the promise we've made and the integrity we're willing to show. The presence of accountability partners, whether they're friends, family, colleagues, or mentors, serves as a gentle or sometimes not so gentle push in the right direction. It's that voice in the back of our mind that reminds us we're not alone in this journey, and there's someone out there rooting for us, watching us, and perhaps even learning from our actions. These partners often help us see our blind spots, pointing out areas where we may need to refocus or double down on our efforts. Their support reminds us that while the journey is ours, it doesn't have to be solitary. What's interesting about accountability is that it doesn't just drive action, it helps us develop resilience and grit. When we have someone to answer to, we're more likely to follow through, even when it's hard or inconvenient. In those moments when we feel like quitting, accountability becomes the anchor that grounds us. It's easier to let ourselves down when we're the only ones who know about our goals. But when we have a system of accountability, the stakes feel higher, and that added pressure can be the catalyst that keeps us going. There are also countless ways to build accountability into our lives. It can be as formal as a weekly check-in meeting with a coach, or as informal as sharing daily updates with a friend. Some people use apps and tools to track their progress, while others join communities where everyone is working towards similar goals. Each approach brings with it a different form of support, but all of them work toward the same purpose, keeping us aligned with the promises we've made to ourselves. Accountability also has a way of fostering humility and openness. When we're willing to share our goals with others, we're inviting support, feedback, and encouragement, but we're also acknowledging our own vulnerability. We're saying, I need help to stay on track. I can't do this alone. This openness creates a sense of connection with those around us, turning our journey into something shared and collaborative. It helps us let go of the idea that we have to have it all figured out on our own, and instead embrace the idea that progress is often a collective effort. In many ways, accountability is a powerful mirror. It reflects back to us the values we claim to hold and the goals we're striving for. When we see ourselves through the eyes of others, it becomes easier to spot the moments when we're veering off course. It's a form of self-awareness that goes beyond introspection, as it brings our goals out of our heads and into the real world. With accountability, we're not just thinking about our habits, we're actively living them in a way that others can see and understand. Moreover, accountability provides an opportunity to celebrate our progress, not just in private, but with others who care about our journey. Embracing discomfort is an essential yet challenging part of building good habits. We're wired to seek comfort, to gravitate toward what feels familiar and safe. But true growth happens outside of that comfort zone, in the spaces where we're stretched, challenged, and sometimes even unsettled. When we embrace discomfort, we're making a choice to push through resistance, to lean into the struggle, and to understand that progress is rarely comfortable. Discomfort isn't something we naturally welcome. In fact, it's often the reason we abandon new habits before they have a chance to take root. Starting a workout routine, building a new skill, changing our diet, or learning to set boundaries, none of these things are easy, and the unfamiliarity can feel like friction. Our brains perceive discomfort as a signal that something might be wrong, that maybe we're in over our heads. But this resistance is part of the process, a test of our commitment and resilience. By choosing to embrace it, we're rewriting that internal narrative, teaching ourselves that discomfort doesn't mean failure, it means growth. Learning to welcome discomfort involves a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing discomfort as a reason to quit, we can start to see it as evidence that we're on the right path. Each time we choose to step into discomfort, we're conditioning ourselves to become resilient, adaptable, and strong. These moments of discomfort are where we cultivate discipline. Discipline isn't about motivation or excitement, it's about pushing forward when things get tough, when the initial enthusiasm fades, and when doubt starts to creep in. By embracing discomfort, we're not just working toward a habit, we're building character, determination, and inner strength. Discomfort also teaches us a lot about patience. Change doesn't happen overnight, and the results of new habits aren't always immediately visible. In those moments of struggle, When progress feels slow and the effort seems high, embracing discomfort helps us cultivate patience. It's easy to want immediate results, but true transformation takes time, and discomfort is often the price we pay for lasting change. When we understand this, we're less likely to give up when things get tough. We become willing to wait, to stay committed, and to trust the process, even when we can't yet see the fruits of our efforts. One of the most powerful things about embracing discomfort is that it breaks down our fear of failure. Often we're so afraid of failing that we avoid taking risks or trying new things, but discomfort challenges us to face that fear head on. When we put ourselves in situations where we're uncomfortable, we're essentially telling ourselves that it's okay to not have all the answers, to not be perfect. This shift allows us to see failure not as an endpoint, but as a learning opportunity. By repeatedly stepping into discomfort, we become less afraid of setbacks, more willing to take chances, and more open to new experiences. This resilience becomes a part of who we are, making it easier to face future challenges with confidence. Embracing discomfort also reveals strengths we didn't know we had. When we're pushed to our limits, we discover what we're truly capable of. We find resilience, courage, and determination hidden beneath the surface, qualities that may never have emerged if we'd stayed in our comfort zones. Each time we confront discomfort, we're expanding our capacity to handle life's challenges, proving to ourselves that we're stronger than we thought. This self-discovery is empowering. It builds a quiet confidence that can only come from facing hard things and coming out the other side. There's also a sense of freedom that comes with embracing discomfort. When we're no longer held back by the need to stay comfortable, we become open to possibilities we might have previously dismissed. We stop limiting ourselves to what feels easy and start exploring what feels meaningful. We're more willing to take on challenges that scare us, to set bigger goals, and to pursue dreams that require courage and grit. By embracing discomfort, we're giving ourselves permission to pursue growth without being constrained by fear or self-doubt. Over time, what initially feels uncomfortable begins to feel natural. What once seemed daunting becomes a part of our routine. Embracing discomfort trains our minds to see challenges as normal, even expected. We develop a tolerance for the effort, a familiarity with the process, and a sense of confidence in our ability to handle difficult situations. This growth doesn't just apply to the specific habits we're building, it spills over into every area of our lives, helping us approach life's challenges with a calm, steady determination. Celebrating progress is a vital but often overlooked part of building and sustaining good habits. We live in a world that places so much emphasis on the end result, the big achievement, the milestone, that we sometimes forget to honor the journey itself. Yet every small step we take toward a goal is a victory in its own right. Progress, no matter how small, deserves to be acknowledged because it's those small steps that add up to monumental change over time. When we celebrate progress, we reinforce our commitment, energize our efforts, and remind ourselves of the value in the journey. Taking a moment to recognize each step forward is more than just a nice gesture. It's a powerful motivator that helps to build momentum. Every bit of progress we make is evidence that we're capable, that our efforts are worthwhile, and that we're moving in the right direction. Acknowledging this keeps us invested in the process, encouraging us to show up even on the days when motivation is low or when the path feels unclear. These small celebrations act as a reminder of why we started, of the person we're becoming, and of the potential that lies within us. Celebrating progress also shifts our focus from perfection to growth. Often we're so focused on doing things right or achieving a certain standard that we can become discouraged by anything less than flawless execution. But progress is rarely linear. It has ups and downs, moments of triumph and moments of struggle. When we celebrate progress, we're embracing the journey in its entirety, recognizing that growth isn't about perfection, but about learning, adjusting, and moving forward, even if imperfectly. This shift in mindset allows us to approach our goals with more compassion and patience, which in turn sustains our efforts over the long haul. There's also an element of self-affirmation in celebrating progress. Each time we acknowledge our efforts, we're reinforcing our belief in ourselves. This positive reinforcement builds self-confidence and reminds us that we are capable of achieving our goals. When we take the time to celebrate, we're saying to ourselves, I see you, I see the work you're putting in. I recognize the dedication and resilience it takes. This act of self-acknowledgement is empowering. It reminds us of our worth and fuels us to keep going. In a culture that often rewards results over effort, celebrating progress is a way to reclaim our own narrative. Instead of waiting for external validation, we're creating our own sources of encouragement and inspiration. This self-empowerment makes us less dependent on the opinions or judgments of others, allowing us to focus solely on what matters most to us. We stop comparing our journey to others and start valuing our unique path, realizing that each step, each bit of progress is an achievement in its own right. When we celebrate progress, we're also building a habit of gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in what we haven't achieved yet, or in the gap between where we are and where we want to be. But by acknowledging each step forward, we're practicing gratitude for the present moment, for the hard work we've put in, and for the growth we're experiencing right now. This gratitude cultivates a sense of contentment, helping us appreciate the journey rather than constantly chasing the next achievement. It reminds us that success isn't a destination, it's the sum of all the small, consistent actions we take along the way. Celebrating progress doesn't have to be grand or elaborate. It can be as simple as taking a moment to reflect on how far we've come, jotting down a few words of encouragement in a journal, or sharing our small victories with a trusted friend. These acts of acknowledgement don't just make the journey more enjoyable, they make it meaningful. They remind us that the path we're on is filled with moments worth cherishing, moments that are building us, teaching us, and shaping us into the person we aspire to become. By making a habit of celebrating progress, we're creating a positive feedback loop. Each small win reinforces our commitment to the habit, which makes it more likely that we'll continue. This positive reinforcement helps to establish the habit as part of our identity, making it feel less like a chore and more like something that defines who we are. Over time, these celebrations become embedded in our routine, turning what once felt like a daunting task into a series of rewarding experiences. Celebrating progress also serves as a buffer against burnout. When we're focused solely on the end goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by how far we still have to go. But by breaking down the journey into smaller milestones and taking the time to acknowledge each one, we create space for joy and fulfillment along the way. This makes the journey itself feel lighter, more rewarding, and more sustainable. It reminds us that every bit of progress, no matter how small, is a testament to our dedication, resilience, and strength. In the end, celebrating progress is about honoring the process and recognizing that the journey is just as important as the destination. It's about finding meaning in each step forward and realizing that success is built one small victory at a time. Creating accountability is one of the most reliable strategies for staying committed to our goals, especially when the path to achievement feels long and challenging. Accountability isn't just about checking a box, it's about building a structure that keeps us motivated and aligned with our purpose. It's a commitment to transparency, consistency, and support, all of which play a crucial role in transforming our intentions into actions. When we set up accountability, we're creating a system that holds us to a higher standard, reminding us that we're not alone in our journey and that we're responsible for the promises we make to ourselves. One of the core reasons accountability works is that it gives our goals visibility. When we keep our goals to ourselves, they're often easier to ignore or rationalize away. We might think, I'll do it tomorrow, or no one will know if I skip this one time. But when we share our goals with someone else, suddenly they have a presence outside our own minds. Knowing that someone else is aware of our commitments adds a layer of responsibility. It makes the goal feel real, concrete, important, not just to us, but to others as well. This visibility turns our intentions into a shared reality where others can provide support, encouragement, and even a gentle nudge when we need it most. The beauty of accountability is that it can take many forms, each offering different types of support. It might be as simple as checking in with a friend once a week, signing up for a class, joining a community of people with similar goals, or even setting up regular meetings with a mentor. Each of these forms of accountability adds structure and routine, which are key to building sustainable habits. These touch points create rhythm in our journey, providing us with moments to reflect on our progress, adjust our approach, and reaffirm our commitment. Having regular accountability check-ins, whether formal or informal, gives us an opportunity to celebrate our small wins and identify areas where we might need extra effort. Accountability isn't just about reporting to others, it's also about cultivating self-accountability. When we commit to regularly checking in with ourselves, we develop a habit of honest self-assessment. This type of accountability requires us to look closely at our actions, our setbacks, and our wins with a compassionate, non-judgmental lens. It's a practice of self-inquiry, where we take responsibility not only for what we've done, but for what we intend to do moving forward. By fostering self-accountability, we're reinforcing our own belief in our abilities, building a relationship of trust and respect with ourselves. Over time, this self-accountability grows into a steady internal compass, one that keeps us aligned with our values and long-term goals. One of the most powerful aspects of accountability is how it helps us reframe failure. When we work toward our goals alone, it's easy to feel discouraged by setbacks or to interpret them as signs of inadequacy. But with accountability, especially when it involves sharing our journey with others, we gain perspective. We start to see that setbacks are part of the process and that they don't define our worth or potential. This external support network helps us maintain resilience, encouraging us to learn from mistakes rather than being defeated by them. With accountability, failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a stopping point, a chance to reassess and recommit. There's also a profound sense of connection that comes with creating accountability. When we share our goals, we're inviting others into our journey, building relationships based on mutual support, trust, and encouragement. This connection reminds us that we're part of something bigger than ourselves, that others are rooting for us, and that we too can be a source of inspiration for those around us. Accountability, in this sense, fosters a sense of community. It transforms what could be a solitary pursuit into a collective experience, where each person's growth contributes to the growth of the whole. This shared journey makes our goals feel more meaningful, helping us stay motivated and committed even when the road gets tough. Creating accountability also cultivates resilience by helping us confront our excuses. When we're accountable to others, we're less likely to justify procrastination or inconsistency. Instead, we're encouraged to take ownership of our actions, to face the reasons behind our delays or doubts, and to push through them. Accountability partners, whether they're friends, mentors, or colleagues, provide gentle reminders that we're capable, that we've committed to this path, and that we have what it takes to follow through. This kind of support can make all the difference on days when self-doubt or complacency tries to steer us off course. There's something transformative about the act of showing up for ourselves and others through accountability. It builds integrity and trust, not just in our relationships with others, but in our relationship with ourselves. Each time we follow through on an accountability check-in, each time we take action on a promise, we're reinforcing the belief that we are reliable, that our word matters, and that we can count on ourselves to follow through. This builds a foundation of self-respect making it easier to tackle future challenges and set bigger goals. When we trust ourselves to stay accountable, we unlock a new level of confidence and courage, knowing that we have the discipline and commitment to see things through, no matter how challenging. Creating accountability is, in many ways, a process of building internal strength. By setting up systems of support and consistency, we're creating an environment where growth can flourish. Accountability helps us see our goals as achievable, our actions as meaningful, and our journey as one worth investing in, both for ourselves and for the benefit of those around us.
Visualizing the person you're becoming is a powerful practice that transforms your journey from abstract goals into a tangible, vivid reality. This kind of visualization allows you to create a mental image of who you want to be, giving you a clear sense of purpose and direction. When you can see yourself in that future state, living out your values, embodying your goals, and experiencing the rewards of your hard work, you bring clarity and motivation to the process of building new habits. Visualization helps bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to go by creating an anchor in your mind, a destination that feels real and within reach. It's a mental rehearsal of the life you're designing, helping you embody the qualities and mindset of that person as if you were already there. Imagining the person you're becoming involves more than just a general sense of improvement. It's about getting specific. It's envisioning how you look, how you feel, how you carry yourself, and how you engage with the world around you. Picture the confidence, the joy, the calm, or the strength that future version of you embodies. Visualize what your day-to-day life looks like as this person, the choices you make, the people you surround yourself with, and the way you handle challenges. The more detailed your vision, the more powerful it becomes. This practice not only creates a compelling image of the end goal, but also informs the actions you need to take today to bring that vision to life. One of the remarkable effects of visualization is how it begins to change your mindset. When you consistently imagine yourself as the person you aspire to be, you start aligning your thoughts, actions, and decisions with that vision. You might find yourself asking, what would that future version of me do in this situation? This mental shift leads to more intentional choices and reinforces the habits you're trying to build. By visualizing yourself as already embodying the traits and habits you want, you make decisions that reinforce that identity. Your actions start to reflect the belief that you're capable of change, that you're already becoming that person one step at a time. This alignment is a powerful motivator. It's no longer about trying to change from the outside in, but about living as if that future self is already within you. Visualization also has a grounding effect on motivation. It helps to keep your why front and center, reminding you of the deeper purpose behind the habits you're working to establish. When you imagine yourself as that future person, you're not just thinking about goals in a detached, outcome-oriented way. You're connecting with the emotional, personal reasons behind those goals. This emotional connection keeps you engaged, even when the journey feels challenging or slow. By staying rooted in that vision, you become less swayed by temporary discomfort or setbacks as you're continually reminded of the bigger picture. Visualization turns that future reality into something worth fighting for, something that feels essential and meaningful, providing a sense of inner drive that's hard to shake. Another powerful aspect of visualization is how it helps us anticipate the challenges that might arise along the way. By imagining ourselves in various scenarios, how we respond to temptation, how we handle moments of doubt, or how we bounce back from a setback, we mentally prepare ourselves to overcome obstacles. Visualizing your future self successfully navigating these situations builds resilience and problem-solving skills. Instead of viewing challenges as threats to your progress, you see them as part of the journey, something your future self is already equipped to handle. You start to view each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to prove to yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. This foresight strengthens your resilience, making it more likely that you'll stay committed to your path, even when things get tough. Visualization also cultivates patience, a critical component in any long-term journey. When you can clearly see the person you're becoming, it becomes easier to appreciate the gradual nature of growth. You understand that transformation isn't about overnight success, but about steady, consistent effort over time. Seeing that future self makes the process feel worthwhile, helping you resist the urge for quick fixes or shortcuts. Each small action, each daily choice becomes a step closer to that vision, and visualization helps you recognize and celebrate these incremental changes. Patience becomes less about waiting and more about trusting that each day's effort is contributing to a larger transformation, reminding you that every step counts, no matter how small. There's a confidence that comes with seeing yourself as the person you aspire to be. When you can picture yourself embodying your values and reaching your goals, it builds an inner certainty that you can become that person. This confidence influences how you approach challenges, how you interact with others, and how you perceive yourself. You're no longer plagued by self-doubt or limited by old beliefs. Instead, you start to feel worthy of the growth you're pursuing. Visualization isn't just about imagining who you want to be. It's about believing you're capable of becoming that person. This belief becomes the foundation for change, making it easier to stay committed and resilient in the face of setbacks. One of the most beautiful aspects of visualization is that it allows you to feel the rewards of your efforts long before you reach the final goal. By mentally experiencing the joy, pride, and satisfaction of becoming the person you're working toward, you bring those positive emotions into your present. This emotional boost makes the journey itself more fulfilling, adding a sense of joy and anticipation to each step forward. Visualization allows you to borrow the emotions of future success, making the present journey feel less burdensome and more enriching. This emotional connection enhances motivation and reminds you that there's value in the pursuit itself, not just in reaching the destination. As you continue to visualize the person you're becoming, you start to notice subtle shifts in how you approach daily life. You become more mindful of your actions, more intentional with your choices, and more attuned to the behaviors that align with your vision. You might find yourself developing habits that once felt out of reach as your self-image starts to align with the person you've been visualizing. Each time you picture that future self, you're reinforcing a new identity, one that's rooted in growth, resilience, and purpose. This alignment creates a powerful momentum where your habits are no longer just things you do, they become part of who you are becoming. Visualization turns your journey into a process of self-discovery, where each step forward brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. It creates a sense of agency, reminding you that you're actively shaping your future with each choice you make. When you can clearly see the person you're working to become, you're no longer at the mercy of old habits, fears, or doubts. Instead, you're moving forward with a sense of direction and clarity, guided by the image of a future self that feels deeply personal and meaningful. In closing, remember that building good habits is a journey of small, intentional steps, each one bringing you closer to the person you're meant to be. It's not about overnight transformation or perfection. It's about committing to growth, staying accountable, and celebrating each bit of progress along the way. As you visualize the person you're becoming, let that image inspire you to keep going, even when the road is challenging. Embrace the discomfort, honor each choice you make, and trust that every small effort is adding up to something powerful. You have the ability to shape your future, and with each step forward, you're creating a life that reflects your values, your goals, and your unique potential.